In today's lesson, we'll be learning how to determine the x-intercepts of a quadratic relation. If you're given the quadratic relation in standard form, you want to be using the quadratic formula to find the x-intercepts. We'll be learning about this in a later lesson. However, if you're given the quadratic relation in factored form, you want to be using this method over here. You want to substitute y as 0 and solve for x. And that is because every x-intercept has its y-coordinate as 0. That means over here, we're going to substitute y as 0. This means that x minus 3 times x minus 5 is going to give us an answer of 0, which means either x minus 3 is equal to 0 or x minus 5 is equal to 0. If x minus 3 is equal to 0, let's solve it like a regular one-step equation. We're going to move this minus 3 to the other side of the equation, which means it's going to become its opposite operation. So it's going to become positive 3, and 0 plus 3 just becomes 3. So positive 3 is one of the x-intercepts. If x minus 5 is equal to 0, then we're going to treat this as a one-step equation. So we're going to bring minus 5 to the other side of the equation, and when that happens, it becomes the opposite operation. It becomes positive 5. So 0 plus 5 is just 5, which means 5 is the other x-intercept. If you're given the quadratic relation in vertex form, you again are going to follow the same strategy we just did. You're going to substitute y as 0. Next, we're going to move minus 1 to the other side of the equation, which means it's going to become its opposite operation. It's going to become plus 1. 0 plus 1 is just 1. Now, over here, you can see that there is a square root on both sides of the equation. And that is because we want to cancel out this exponent of 2. So the square root of positive 1 is actually positive or negative 1. There are two possible answers. So that means if it is positive 1, then you would solve this one-step equation. We're going to bring this minus 4 to the other side, and that becomes positive 4. 1 plus 4 equals positive 5. 5 is one of the x-intercepts. Now over here, if negative 1 is one of the answers, then we would move negative 4 to the other side, which means that negative 4 becomes the opposite operation. It becomes positive 4. Negative 1 plus 4 becomes positive 3, which means positive 3 is the other x-intercept.